We have two artists living in Ukraine, Volodymyr Bilyk and Lubomyr Tymkiv. And I'm going to introduce each one before they speak. And I'm going to ask you not to interrupt anybody, but we will have questions at the end if you want to say something or ask something after they give their presentation. And Seth mentioned we're going to have a live performance afterward by Kathy Halter, involving her beautiful textile hanging, and we're looking forward to that. So first, Seth, can you enlarge the one person on the screen? Or
I think I can do that. There's a way to do it.
yeah, our first speaker is Volodymyr Bilyk, who is a writer and an artist, and he describes himself as, quote, the artist of the slightly funny deal. And he says that he makes, quote, art that would make Steve Albini proud. In other words, multidisciplinary, no good at anything. But I think I would disagree with that, no good at anything part. And he lives in Volodymyr, Ukraine, which he describes as, quote, the city of black metal, El Greco clouds, and chaos magic. Yes. Why are you talking to me? I don't know what you mean. Volodymyr, welcome. And you want to tell us about your artwork?
Yeah, greetings, ladies and gentlemen.
Is this loud enough?
Is it loud enough?
Let's see.
Try now. Try now.
1, 2.
Oh, that's too loud. Let's see. How's that?
1, 2.
Is that good? Okay. Okay, it's good.
Okay. Yeah, greetings and salutations. I'm really glad to see you all and take part in this exhibition. So regarding the pieces you might see of mine, that it's twofold like that. The first part is the series of photos are made of the bombing of the Zhytomyr school number 25. Like it happened, I took those photos in the day the school was bombed. And it's pretty much like as it happened, because we were cleaning up the destruction. So what you can see is like about 2 or 3 hours after that thing happened, and the scene was cleared.
I want to say Volodymyr's work is over there. He did the photos of the school that was bombed, and then he has some abstract artwork below.
Yeah, and the abstract art pieces are from a series I call the Volodymyr Crusade. It's a kind of recycling project. Like I'm taking bits and pieces of different artworks, different scans of books, or posters, or whatever I see fit to take apart, and I'm making pieces out of that. Like it's a sort of collage, a combination of digital manipulation and the cut and paste from the existing pieces. So it's like it's a combination of other forms making new, and the situation is the hijacking of a medium to make new content. So it's a kind of that. It's a combination of raw realism and pure abstraction.
Tell us more about the day that you went to the school. You were helping to search for survivors, you said?
Well, there were no survivors because the school was empty.
Oh. Okay,
Yeah,
that's good.
it was an empty building like since February 24. It was used as a storage building for the humanitarian help. Like it had very convenient location so that any big car could park it and take whatever it needed. And that was pretty much the only way it was used after the war started. So it happened on March 6th, and I was staying nearby, in a house nearby. It was like 2 houses apart from that school. And the bombing happened about 9 o'clock. We're getting up and having breakfast right at that time when the boom happened, and it was like everything shaking and a huge sound of explosion. And then we went out to the streets to look what happened. And it was like pretty much every single window in the direction of the school was blasted out, like plastic windows, wooden windows, like everything just shattered, like the streets were full of broken glass. And there was a little bit of smoke from the direction the school was, and the general assumption was that it was the state administration that got bombed because it's situated nearby the school. Yeah, but then it kind of, when we got closer, we found that it was either one of the residential housings that was near the school from the opposite side, or it was the school itself. Yeah, but since the location was closed down by the police who were checking the surroundings, like there was no chance to check it out what happened like right after the bombing. Then like about an hour later, we found out it was actually a school, and we started to get through the cordon, the police, and looking for, trying to understand what happened. And it was like, it was a rocket from the fighter jet, like the one that they usually use in battlefields just to blow up some kind of bunker. It wasn't like a big aviation bomb. It wasn't like Iskander S-300. Like if those rockets were landing school, there would be this giant crater. And that was like a mild explosion. So like one part of the building just got blasted off, clean, like it wasn't there actually.
Wow.
And the second part, it kind of got all cracky, but it is still standing, but it's in emergency state. Like it's not very safe to be there. So like after that, we spent like the next couple of hours with the school principal, with a couple of teachers, a couple of workers from school, just trying to clean up and salvage whatever we could. And then we had conversations with local journalists, with journalists from the International Press Center, describing what happened. That was pretty much how the day went.
Oh.
And there were like 9 other air raid alarms during that day. Yeah, but there were no bombings after that, like for about 6 or 7 days, and then they bombed the residential. It wasn't a residential housing. It was like a student. It was a student complex, empty student complex near the military base, and it was like blasted off with a big rocket. It was almost completely disrupted. And before that, on February 28th, there was a bombing of a local hospital that was nearby the military base of 91st Brigade, like on the other side of town. Yeah, and it was a very big explosion. Like I'm living on the other side of town, but we saw the explosion, the flash of the explosion when it happened.
Can you tell us more about how your life changed when the war started?
Well, before the war, I was living in Kiev. I had a job back there. It was mostly on remote from 2020 onwards, but still living in that city. And when the war started, like we just got up early in the morning and saw like lots of people going somewhere. Yeah, but there was no, like it was like five in the morning, something like that. And no idea what happened. And then like my wife's mother told us and says, have you heard the news? Like the war started. Like, we checked the news and yeah, that was like that. And we tried to book a car to leave the city from then on. But it was like not a very good idea. So we proceeded to walk into a crowd in the city. With some of our belongings, we closed up our apartment and left. So it was like a very long day, and we managed to get out of the city limits. Like right when the planes were flying, when we saw some enemy helicopters, heard some sound of explosions. And we went to city Zhytomyr. Like I'm originally from city. I'm originally from Zhytomyr. My parents were living here, and we decided like to band together for the time being, and like we've spent like the rest of the time in that like communal state. Like if you talk about everyday life, like the first couple of weeks, well, like you get up, do some stuff like translate some news, translate some propaganda, debunk insanity of partners in the West, and then you just go for a couple hours to the bomb shelter, rinse and repeat like 6-7 times a day up until April. In April, things have changed because Russians were beaten back from the Kiev Oblast and the Zhytomyr Oblast. So there were much less of air servants and much less trips to bomb shelter.
That's
Yeah, and things kind of started to come back to normal since May. We moved back to Kiev for some time and then just decided to leave that city for good for the time being because it just didn't feel the same. We kind of got used to living in the other city, and like living in our apartment kind of felt uneasy for reasons. And we kind of tried to move out like for a couple of months before that, like kind of were too lazy to do that. So it was like an additional push to So, but since May, like things were getting like a semblance of normal. Like you get an occasional airline siren, and you get the news that the rocket got shut down somewhere. Well, since we're living like far away from the front lines, like there were not many dangerous situations. Like you get an occasional news that the police or the Secret Service found some kind of weapons cache for the saboteurs from the Belarus or from Russia. Yeah, but aside from that, like actual kind of actual shootings, actual explosions, like that thing is far away from there.
So if there was one thing that you want people in New York to understand about Ukraine, or people outside of Ukraine to understand about what's going on, what's the most important thing you want people to know?
Well, there is one thing, it's that this war, like the Battle of the Wars, it was a long time coming. Like it's what you can see now is the end of a story that started in the middle of the 17th century. The story of oppression, the story of struggle, and now it's coming to an end. And for decades, everyone hoped that nothing's going to happen, but like it was apparent from the behavior of Russian citizens of Russian state that like, sooner or later the war is going to start, and it started, and it's like it's sad that things turn out that way, but on the other hand, like the influence of Russian state and Ukrainian state was always very toxic and very destructive, and now that Ukraine and Russia are in direct confrontation, it's like it provides some kind of hope that in the future there will be no pushback from Russia to build a country the way we see fit. So it's a very important thing to understand.
Thank you. Is there anything else you want to say?
Well, like since the exhibition takes place in the church, I would like to quote Billy Graham. He got a very fitting quote for that occasion. It goes like this: "Courage is contagious. When a brave man takes a stand, the spines of others are often stiffen." It kind of describes how the thing went down. Like early in February, most of the military experts, most of the news outlets, everybody thought that if Russia started a big offensive, like things went down like in a couple of days. But then it didn't happen. Like everybody said, like Ukraine will fall in a week. And then it didn't happen. Like everybody said Ukraine will fall in months. And it didn't happen. Even more so, like Russians fought back. They were forced to flee from Kiev, from Chernobyl, and now they're forced to flee from Kharkiv Oblast, from Donetsk Oblast. So it kind of shows that if you show courage to stand and fight, like it inspires other people, perpetuates the support.
Well, thank you. We're gonna talk to Lubomyr now, and then afterward we'll have some open discussion and questions. So I'm introducing Lubomyr Tymkiv. Lubomyr.
Okay.
Lubomyr Tymkiv. He's an artist living in Lviv, Ukraine. And I know him through the International Mail Art Network. And he has a really nice art space that I'm not sure if I'm hoping he'll show, I'm not sure if that's possible. And his wife, you're gonna have to tell me your name again, but his wife is translating. What's your name again?
My name is Svetlana. Greeting.
Thank you so much for translating. So would you like to tell us about Lubomyr's art?
Що я?
Кажу.
Я закінчив Львівську академію мистецтв. Займаюся візуальним мистецтвом, переважно живописом та мейл-артом.
I graduated from the Lviv Academy of Arts. I'm engaged in visual art, mostly painting and mail art.
У 2011 році я відкрив у своєму гаражі альтернативну галерею під назвою Тимутопія Прес.
In 2011, I opened in my garage an alternative gallery named Timutopia Press. If you want, we can show you how this gallery look.
Yes, yes. Is she sharing the
She
screen?
should be able to share
Okay,
screen.
okay.
Ні, то внизу.
This.
Ні, отут де хатку.
So this is his art gallery in his garage.
Have you seen?
Yeah, yes, it looks great. I wish I could go there.
Я виставляю...
Ні.
Давай я буду говорити.
Can you full screen it?
Я...
Be able to.
Oh, that's all photos.
Oh. And is this all Lubomyr's artwork we're looking at?
Yes, it's his artworks. Now, how can no. How can I
Too late now.
return? Stop
It's too
share.
late
Okay,
now.
stop share.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Так.
Thank you. Will you tell us more about
was-
what mail art is? I don't think everybody here knows what mail art is.
Про mail art розкажи.
Ну, мені дуже подобається ним займатися, і це мені допомагає знайти нових друзів.
I like to do this because it helped me to find a new friends in all world.
За допомогою них я організував в галереї вперше в Україні виставку сам видавів та зінів, а також першу виставку колажів. Це були такі свої міжнародні проекти.
And I organized an exhibition of self-publishing and zine for the first time in Ukraine, and male artists from other countries sent his works to this gallery.
У кожному з них взяли участь більше сотні людей в кожному проєкті.
More than 100 participants took part in each of them.
That's exciting. Can you tell us how your life changed when the war started?
Як життя змінилось, коли війна почалась?
Ну, я живу на заході країни. Через це місто проходять потоки біженців, які перенаправляються далі в Європу.
I live in the west of the country. Through the city flows of refugees pass further to Europe. It's 1,000 people who leave Ukraine.
Ну, в моє місто декілька разів прилітали російські ракети.
My city was hit by Russian missiles several times.
На даний час моє життя не дуже змінилося, оскільки я і до війни був у творчому андеграунді. Я не виставлявся на художніх виставках в інших галереях, окрім моєї галереї. І завжди планував самостійно свій творчий шлях і свої майбутні проекти. Моя творчість залежала і залежить виключно від мене.
Currently, my life has not changed much because even before the war, I was in the creative underground. I didn't exhibit in art show in another galleries other than my gallery. I was independently planned my creative path and my future project. My creativity depended and depends exclusively on me.
Оскільки я військовозобов'язаний, я підпадаю під загальну мобілізацію. У 2015-2016 році я вже рік воював на сході України. Я був солдатом-гранатометником і повернувся з посттравматичним синдромом.
Since I'm a military member, I'm subject to general mobilization. In 2015-2016, I already fought in the east of Ukraine for a year. I was a generate launcher soldier and returned with post-traumatic syndrome.
Тому можна вважати, що моє відношення до війни змінилося ще у 2016 році. У мене немає ні романтичного бачення, ні особливого страху. Скоріше за все, це велика надія на Бога та особливо філософія цинізму.
Therefore, it can be considered that my attitude towards the war changed in 2016. I have neither a romantic vision nor a particular fear. Rather, it's a great hope in God and philosophy of cynicism.
Oh, thank you. Is there one thing that you would like people outside of Ukraine to know about the situation in Ukraine? What is the most important thing you would like us to know?
Thanks. Thanks for question. Що ти можеш сказати людям, які поза Україною, важливого, щоб вони знали?
Ну, я би хотів сказати, щоб всі знали, що Україна буде битись до останнього подиху. У нас є дуже велика історія боротьби з Росією.
I want to say that everyone knows that Ukraine will fight until its last breath. We have a very long history of struggle with Russia.
Також я вважаю, що це є есхатологічна боротьба. Від результатів цієї боротьби залежить, яким шляхом піде людство.
I also believe that this is an eschatological struggle. Which way humanity will go depends on the results of this struggle.
Якщо Україна програє, кожен в світі буде знати, що позбавлятись від ядерної зброї – це погана ідея. Саме так зробила Україна у 94-му році, ставши без'ядерною державою, підписавши Будапештський меморандум.
If Ukraine loses, everyone in the world will know that getting rid of nuclear weapons is a bad idea, which is exactly what Ukraine did in 1994, becoming a nuclear-free state by signing the Budapest Memorandum.
Програє не лише Україна, програє цілий світ.
Not only Ukraine will lose, but the whole world.
Також я хочу сказати, що ми відчуваємо підтримку багатьох країн, в тому числі і Сполучених Штатів. Дуже дякую їм за це. Насправді, без вашої підтримки кількість жертв в Україні була б значно більшою.
I also want to say that we feel the support of many countries, including the United States. In fact, without your support, the number of victims in Ukraine would be much higher.
Також я як художник розумію важливість таких художніх проєктів, як Stop the Invasion. Така підтримка допомагає нам, творчим людям в Україні, зрозуміти, що ми не одні, що ці жахливі вбивства і руйнування спричиняють глибоку біль людям інших країн. Зараз нас об'єднав смуток, але я маю велику надію, що колись нас об'єднає велика радість.
Also, as an artist, I understand the importance of such artistic project as the Stop the Invasion. Such support help us creative people in Ukraine to understand that we are not alone, that these terrible murders and destruction cause deep pain to people in other countries. Now we are united by sadness, but I have great hope that one day we will united by joy. That's all.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. So we're going to open this to the audience if they have any questions. And we're so glad that you were able to join us online here, and we love your work, and we wish the best for you. We hope that this war is over soon and that Ukraine is victorious and free. Does anybody have, do you want to come up and ask? Yeah, so whatever you're comfortable with.
Thank you so much for this. I learned so much, and this is beautiful. I have a question. Are you still able to do, is the mail service working in a way that you're able to do the mail art that you do?
You should explain it again.
Did you understand her question? She wants to know if you're still able to receive mail.
Yes, I see. Чи працює пошта, чи ти отримуєш листи?
Так, зараз працюю вже так.
The mail is working, but чи довго йде пошта?
Ну,
Що
місяць,
змінилося?
ну,
And now we can receive the letter.
трошки довше, може складніше.
It's more difficult, but everything is working.
We were talking to you, we mentioned to you that we could send this show to you to show in your garage if you want. We'll talk to you about that later, but we could mail it to you.
I can understand. Please.
You don't understand the art show Stop the Invasion is we could mail the prints to you, and you could show in your garage, and we'll talk to you about that later. If
Okay.
you want,
We will do it.
yeah.
Mhm.
Це що?
Volodymyr, I wanted to mention that I brought 2 of Volodymyr's books that I'm going to put on the table. One is Divination, and the other is called Road Rage. And they're going to be on the table over there. You can look at them and you can order them online.
That's cool. That's very nice of you.
And is there another question? Can you come up and ask?
In which language?
What?
I can speak
Go out, go.
Ukraine too.
Okay, well, maybe both.
От, окей. У мене питання до пана Любомира. Яку виставку самвидаву ви робили? Бо я брала участь у самвидаві, як кума Чорновола і Люди Дашкевич. Моє прізвище Гнатенко. Я давно вже тут, 33 роки. So, in English, what kind of exhibit do you did about samizdat? Because my name is Gnatenko, and I collaborate with Chornovol, with Kalinets, and Cathedra with, I forgot the name for now. So, could you tell me, please?
Дякую за запитання. Це було художні самвидави, це було зіни, так звані, і надіслані з різних країн. Мені було важливо показати їх в Україні, що є така зріз мистецтва, як самвидави. Це коли, це скоріше не, як би сказати, не політичні, а художні речі, які художники видають як свої арт-об'єкти.
This was an artistic kind of self-publishing, not politics or historical underground or such as.
Це фото, це оце
It's like type of
поезія.
artistic works, and there was from another countries, which include photos, poetry, some visual imaging in this self-publishing.
Can I speak?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is not politician, because art historian, I wrote about damage in former
Yes.
Soviet Union. Art work was a lot, and was written in 3 some without magazine. So poet Igor Kalinets, he's still alive. He was in prison almost for the poetry, not for another thing. And another people too, because I'm talking about art. Really.
We know Igor Kalinets. We have read a lot of his poetry and very.
Це візуальна поезія,
But
експериментальна
but
поезія.
it's about this Lubomyr exhibitions. It's about modern self-publishing works and which include experimental poetry.
Okay. Are there any
Thank
other
you.
questions? Do you think?
I have a
Okay,
question
okay.
for Volodymyr.
Why you lean
Um,
over so you
Yeah,
can see?
I have a question from my limited reading of Ukrainian history. I understand that language is a very political question. It seems to be. And so I know that you are not simply a visual artist, you're also a poet, and a lot of your art involves words. So I was wondering how you feel your work as a poet impacts that question and how that question affects your work.
Well, the language question in Ukraine is a very tricky thing because on the one hand, it's like a big talking point in the political and social conversation. And on the other hand, it's like in day-to-day life, it's pretty much non-existent for the last, I guess, 20 years or even more so. Like when I was going in school, like it was never a problem. Like some part of surrounding people were talking Russian, some of them were talking Ukrainian. It was mixed in, and like the more time went on from the Soviet Union, like less people were talking Russian, and like there was still some remnants of that. But you know, like since 2010, so it was a pretty rare occurrence just to hear Russian language in my surroundings. Now working in the IT segment, and it's like it seems like there are a lot of people from Eastern Ukraine who talk Russian before they moved to Kiev, and then they just switched to Ukrainian. It was never a problem. And then you go to news, then you go to political conversation, and it's like a big existential point for some reason. For the most part, it's a big existential thing for Russians who just can't stand Ukrainian language as a fact. Like they just can't stand that you know, people living in this country, in this territory, can speak the other language than they do, and it's like a very weird situation that just can't go to bed soon enough. Like speaking regarding how it impacts my work, it's like I'm working in two languages for the most part. Like I'm writing in Ukrainian, I'm writing in English, and like I'm using the instruments of those languages to expand the way I can comprehend things and put them into words. And like knowing more languages is a good thing for me. When the language is kind of forced upon me aggressively, like the Russian language usually is, it becomes a problem because like, why would you want to be so overbearing? Like, I still have a couple of friends who live in Russia and have reasonable point of view of things happening, and they have no problem switching to Ukrainian. They got to put an effort to learn Ukrainian in my day-to-day job. When I was meeting with Russians, they were never making any moves, you know, like to be friendly or talk Ukrainian and something like that. And it was always like weird disdain for that on their side. And they were expecting like that we're going to switch to Russian and not going to talk in English like we usually do. So like in a creative space, it's pretty much non-existent. Like, you know, Ukrainian artists usually use Ukrainian because it's their main language. You know, they can switch to whatever language they see fit to communicate. But from a political standpoint, it's not. It's really non-entity. Like people tend to talk it up like it's a big thing, but it's not a big thing.
Okay, thank you. So unless there's another question, maybe we'll wrap it up. Do you think, would it work to leave this on so they can see the performance, or is that going to be awkward?
We're going to have a break, and I think there's food and some wine over there, and we're going to move some things around, put the lights up, and after that, we're going to have a very beautiful ritual performance by the artist who made this beautiful hanging here.
Kathy Helfen will be performing. I don't know, do you think, should we just make a video and send it to them later, or should they try to watch it on Zoom?
If they want to, they can watch the performance on Zoom. Otherwise, we can make a video with our phones and send it. I imagine it's late at night over there, isn't it?
No, it's an evening, like 8 o'clock.
So should we leave the Zoom on and you can see the performance?
It would be nice.
Okay,
Okay,
we'll try to
okay,
do
we'll
that.
do that.
Me too. Mhm.
Thank you so much. Yes, we hope stay safe. We hope your country is victorious. Glory to Ukraine. Hope the war ends soon. And we love your work and we support you and want to stay in touch with you. And we'll leave this on and we'll let you know when the performance is starting. If you have to leave, well, we're going to make a video of the performance and send it to you. Thank you.